Let's be clear, the provider cannot understand the journey of a service unless it involves the customer or more broadly the consumer in its analysis. So let's start with looking at the service journey. Services are end-to-end, and such a journey will typically comprise of several steps. So what is the customer doing in each step? From the customer's perspective, there are a number of things going on in each step of the journey, such as what encourages or discourages them from moving to the next step? What emotions does each step trigger? Are there questions that are difficult to find answers to? In which context could they get anxious? Could uncertainties cause them to give up and find a different service provider? What kind of obstacles do they confront in each stage? What are the cost and risk factors? When we consider the steps within a customer journey, these will depend on each service respectively. Taking a generic sales approach would comprise of sales contact, then identify needs, then demonstrate the solutions, and then agree, and then of course onboard the new customer, and of course the steps would continue such as deliver and support and so on. However, this is where the line of visibility would be viewed, which sits within the band of visibility. The band of visibility represents the portion of the product or service the service consumer actually sees, feels and comes into direct contact with, and at the same time, how much of the consumer's environment the provider actually sees and comes into contact with. And within the line of visibility, this is where we see the touch points and service interactions. I will clarify touch points and service interactions later. Now, there are portions of the product or service which the consumer does not see, which sit outside of the band of visibility, such as the backroom resources, activities and systems, etc., to provide sales and marketing resources to support the step sales contact, and the same to support the step demonstrating solutions, and of course the resources needed to support onboarding, etc. That said, it is important from the provider's viewpoint to determine how much of the customer's environment needs to be seen and understood, and in some cases to interact with. In other words, should the band of visibility be wider at the consumer's end? This is especially important with digital products and services where collaborative systems become essential. So to quickly summarise, we have the band of visibility which represents how much of the product or service the consumer actually comes into direct contact with and how much of the consumer's environment the provider actually sees and comes into contact with. And the line of visibility is where we see the touch points and service interactions.